This is my official F1 2025 track ranking. Today I'm going to be ranking all 24 tracks that is on the calendar grid for the 2025 season. There is a wide range of tracks on the F1 calendar grid: tight corners, slow corners, long straights, short straights, long tracks, short tracks. There's a whole range of them, but they also range in quality. Some are amazing, some are alright, and some are just not great. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing a tier list for all the F1 races, and I'm going to be starting from round 1 at the start of the season all the way to round 24 at the end of the season. Before I start this video, don't forget to leave a comment on some of your favourite and least favourite F1 tracks, as well as hitting the subscribe button. It will really help the channel grow, and I look forward to doing more F1 content for you guys in the future. But let's get on to it. Let's head to the tier list. So to just quickly go through them, we've got A tier, B tier, C tier, D tier, and E tier. A being the best, E being the worst. But let's move on to round 1. For round 1, we've got Australia, Albert Park. And I think as of recently, it's a B tier track. It's not the best of the best, but I've really enjoyed Australia over the recent years. Good opportunity for overtaking, a really fun track, good qualifying sessions, unpredictable weather as we saw this year. It's just a fun time. But the reason why it's not A, it just feels like it's missing something, but I'm not quite sure what it is. It just feels like Australia is missing something. Albert Park is missing that flair, that fire that the best of the best tracks have. Maybe it's because of the lack of overtaking opportunities on the track, maybe, but still a really good track and a good start to the year. But I can't say the same for number 2. Next up, we're heading to China, and as glamorous as this track is, as so much money gets poured into the Chinese Grand Prix with all these fancy turns, that extremely long straight, which is just longer than the Avatar film. Unfortunately, the action is extremely dry, as we saw from this year and, to be honest, the previous years. So for me, it's just got to be a D tier track. It just isn't higher than that, I'm afraid. I don't enjoy China. I think it's a bit of a glamorous money track. I think that's the reason why it's still on the calendar grid. So much dirty air basically means you cannot overtake, you destroy your tyres, and it's just not an enjoyable experience. So China, unfortunately, you're going in D tier. Going to the third round, and it's Japan. And this always seems to be a fan favourite for everyone. You know, we love Japan. The drivers love Japan. One thing we'll give Japan is the extremely amazing fans there. Absolutely class and absolutely brilliant. But on current regulations, I think it's C tier. I think many years ago, maybe 2018-19 sort of season, I think Japan was a solid track. I think it was solid because the cars weren't extremely big, they weren't extremely bulky, the tyres weren't as bad. But nowadays, I think it faced the same issue. This year, I honestly was one of the first times I fell asleep at watching a Grand Prix due to it being so early, for obviously me being a UK fan. And also just downright being boring with basically none of the top 8, even top 10, really changing throughout the race. Unfortunately, I think Japan has suffered from recent years. Maybe the new regulations will help with it, but unfortunately for now, it's going in C. Next up, we have Bahrain. And for me, it goes above Albert Park and it goes in the B tier. The one great thing about Bahrain, which a lot of tracks now lack, is overtaking opportunities. It is phenomenal, this track, for overtaking opportunities. Every year, apart from obviously, even when like tracks where Max Verstappen dominated in 2023, for instance, it still provided good midfield and back of the pack action. This year provided great action up and down the field, minus the Oscar Piastri sort of running away with it. The greatest battles come from Bahrain, you know, the Charles Leclerc, Max Verstappen battle, the Lewis Hamilton, Nico Rosberg battle. This track is brilliant for overtaking and it's just a fun track to watch. So for me, it's going top of B. Next up, we have Saudi Arabia. And for me, I actually don't mind the Saudi track. I would say above Japan and going in the C tier. It's very similar to Japan. Unfortunately, with Saudi, there's not a lot of overtaking opportunities, but it's such a fast track. It's so exhilarating watching the drivers go around the corners and being so tight to the walls to get the perfect qualifying session or the perfect race. It's such a fun track. It's really exciting. Qualifying is phenomenal here. We've seen some of the best overall ever laps here. And it's not like you can't overtake. There's a few overtaking opportunities, but it just lacks, you know, that flair, that fun factor that tracks like Bahrain, Australia, and some of the other ones coming up. So for me, Saudi Arabia is going in C tier. Moving on to round 6, and it is the Miami Grand Prix. I don't even really need to explain myself here. This track is awful. The antics outside of the track for the USA, awful. Basically provides null and void action. Yes, the Lando Norris win was incredible, but the race itself was pretty boring, to be fair. And the worst thing of all, it has by far the worst corners out of all the F1 races. It has the worst section out of any F1 track. What on earth is this? Disappointed in Miami, and out of all the USA tracks, this is definitely the one that needs to be removed. Next up, we got Imola, and this may offend people, this may be a bit controversial. I'm actually going to put it between Japan and Saudi Arabia. Imola's an iconic track, there's no doubt about that. But the problem is, you can't overtake on this track. There's basically no overtaking opportunities apart from the main straight itself, but apart from that, especially with how big the cars are nowadays, you'll basically end up in the gravel and ruining your race. The race last year, in 2024, was absolutely boring until Lando Norris' tyres heated up and decided to just go after Max Verstappen. But apart from that, there was basically no action unless it's that one straight that has all the action. And I just don't like just DRS overtakes. So that is why, unfortunately, Imola has to go in C tier. Next up, we have the Monaco Grand Prix. Now, I know it's got the history. I know it's got the extremely important qualifying sessions. I know it's got this and that. But my word, it is the most boring race to watch. I don't care about the history. I don't care about, the fact that the only way this race is interesting is a bit of rain is ridiculous. A whole track should not rely on rain to be good. And yes, maybe I can put it up to D because it is exciting to watch the drivers challenging themselves. And maybe the 2 pit stops will make it interesting. But it's so boring to watch. You literally cannot overtake on this track. At least with any other track, you can somewhat overtake. You cannot basically overtake on Monaco. If you overtake, you might as well be called the best F1 driver because it's so boring. So it's going in E. Sorry, people. No debate there. Next up, round 9, which is Spain. And again, this might be controversial. I don't enjoy the Spanish Grand Prix at all. It's going top, but in the E tier for me. It's a track where fun is suspended, there's no enjoyment, and overall, it's just not a good time for us fans. Yes, you might get the occasional Max Verstappen battling back through the grid due to a bad qualifying session, but overall, I don't like the Spanish Grand Prix. I can't remember. Well, I do remember moments, but I don't remember any specific races, at least in recent years, that has been good at the Spanish Grand Prix. It always seems to be the most forgotten about Grand Prix, especially in recent years. Again, might be me being harsh, but I don't enjoy this race. It is basically a category where I'm not going to miss any F1 races on purpose, but if I've got something important coming up or got something else to do, I don't mind missing these races, and Spain for me falls in that category. But boy oh boy, the next few races are going to definitely jump up in quality. We've filled out quite a few of the E, filled out quite a bit in D, but it's time to really push that standards up. Next up, we're going to Canadian Grand Prix, and for me, it's going bottom of B. Maybe above Australia. I'll decide at the end of the video. Canada is such an iconic track. You know you're a good track when you have literally a wall where champions are known for crashing into it. Like, you know you're a good track if you have that. It's unpredictable weather, it's fast action, fast pace, exciting corners, you can overtake. I mean, does anyone remember Alex Albon's double overtake on, I can't remember specifically who, but I want to say it was Ricardo and someone like, not Lawson, someone like Yuki, Ricardo, Lawson, some of those people, Gasly maybe. That overtake was absolutely stunning. And you always seem to get great overtakes at Canada with fast-paced action, exhilarating racing. It's not always the best race. Again, it's another track that struggles to get a lot of overtakes, which is why it's below Bahrain for me. But overall, I love the Canadian Grand Prix, and I'm glad it's getting more recognition by the F1 fan base. And again, I think this track is an underrated track, Austria, and I'm going to go... Ooh. Again, I'll figure it out by the end, but it is definitely in B. Just need to figure out where. Austria is the shortest track on the F1 calendar. It is, the fastest lap times, obviously due to it being short. But for me, I feel like you can basically overtake and battle at any given corner or any given part and section of the F1 track. Austria, for me, it always seems like there's great overtakes, great overtaking opportunities at basically every single corner you go to. And there always ends up being a driver in the gravel trap at some point. Usually a Red Bull, by courtesy of George Russell. Maybe it's just me, but I love the Austrian Grand Prix. Okay, yes, it's not always the most exciting sometimes, but that's any F1 race. Someone might fly away by like 20 seconds. You can't help that. But I feel like the track itself leaves good overtaking opportunities. I feel like every single corner of the track, maybe apart from 1 or 2, is really good. I feel there's only, 10 corners, 9 corners, something like that. But I feel like with Austria, any given those corners you can overtake, and that's why it's high up on my list. Next up, we're going to Silverstone, my personal home Grand Prix, and maybe I'm biased, that is going straight at the top. I mean, come on, when was the last time there was a bad Silverstone Grand Prix? Over the last few years, it's given us some of the best moments ever. Remember last year's race? Lewis Hamilton finally won after 949 days. Not only that, the action was absolutely brilliant. Going from dry to wet to dry weather again was exhilarating. The year before that, we got that brilliant McLaren resurgence where we saw Lando and Hamilton battling it out for a few laps, with Lando overtaking Max Verstappen opening lap with a outrageous roar from the crowd. The year before that,
goes off the track, cuts the chicane, off goes Leclerc, through goes Hamilton.
weather can be absolutely anywhere. It's Great Britain after all, and it's just a phenomenal, iconic track. Unlike Monaco, which is also iconic, it's iconic now for the good reason. So, for me, Great Britain goes in my first A tier. We are now heading to Spa. Top of B. I know, dislikes coming, comments are coming in at me, hating me, but hear me out. There's no doubt that as a layout of a track, it's one of the best F1 tracks. It's produced some of the most iconic moments. It's just a brilliant track overall. But please tell me, when was the last really good Belgian Grand Prix? When was the last really good race that you properly remember at Spa? 2024, okay, it was all right. But overall, I just feel like, again, it's because more of the cars. For me, Spa is just going down and down and down a bit on the pecking order for me. Was at one point, by up and away, the best track on the calendar grid. But for now, I don't know. Something's been missing the last few years at Spa. It hasn't quite got that spark anymore. For me, that's why it's going in B. We're now obviously over the halfway point, but don't forget to leave a comment and also subscribe if you're enjoying this video and if you enjoy this channel, because I've got more F1 content coming in on the way soon. But let's head back to the video. So we're heading to Hungary, and for me, this is going in the C tier. But okay, yes, the racing itself isn't the best. But for me, if you're looking at strategy, tyre strategy, pit stop strategy, when to pit sort of strategy, anything strategy related, this is the track for you. This is one of the best tracks in terms of what strategy a team needs to play, how the driver can manage the strategy, how the driver can manage the tyres, when to pit, what tyres to go on. This is the best track for that. Overall action on the track, nowhere near as exciting, but if you're looking for strategy, this is definitely the track for you. So for me, C tier, but respectively, I'm going to give Hungary some credit. Next up, we're going to the Netherlands, home of Mr. Max Verstappen. And for me, it's going in the B tier. I actually, recent years, really enjoyed Zandvoort. The crowd is absolutely amazing there. I really love the crowd. The orange glow everywhere. It's really good to see. And overall, I'm actually going to be really upset when this track goes. I think this is the last year, unless it's going on rotation, that this track will be in F1. Unfortunately, it's getting replaced, or at least going on a rotational base. So I am sad to see it go, because I'm really enjoying it in recent years, and I think it's a very good track to F1, and it delivers some really good racing. Has some of the most interesting and fun corners to do and to watch. So yeah, I'm sad to see it go, but for me, respectful B tier. We're going to Monza next for round 16, and it's going in the A tier. It's not quite Silverstone level, just due to a bit of a lack of overtaking, but my word, what a track. It's basically Imola, but way better. There's definitely more overtaking opportunities. Qualifying is extremely fun to watch and always close between the drivers. The crowd there, by up and away, my favourite crowd out of any F1 race. It always produced iconic moments. I mean, Ricciardo finally winning again. Pierre Gasly getting his first win. Charles Leclerc finally winning in Monza. He won in Spa, he wins in Monza. I mean, this track just has it all. And also, a bit like Hungary, has great strategy plays to deal with this track. It's not quite Silverstone. I think Silverstone is a better track overall, but Monza is definitely up there. But hopefully rumours aren't true and either Imola or Monza gets taken off. Let's just hope that isn't true. Next up, we're heading to Baku with by far the longest straight. It's like watching Oppenheimer, for goodness sake. It's so long. But for me, it's one of my favourite street tracks. I really like Baku. Might be a controversial opinion. It has one of the weirdest corners in F1 where drivers 1 inch could literally take them out the whole race. But I really like Baku. I find it a good track. There's great overtaking opportunities, especially along the main straight. But not even then, a few other spaces. At least the first third of the track you can overtake. After that, it gets a bit more difficult. But it's basically Monaco, but quite a bit better because you can overtake. It's still challenging for the drivers to drive around and provide some entertaining races to watch. I can't really put it above because it's not B tier. It's not along those track lines, but it's one of my favourite street circuits. So, bravo, Baku. And next up, we're heading to Singapore. And for me, I think this track has been overrated due to what happened in 2023. Literally, look what happened the year after. Everyone was like, oh, we're going to get the best race of the season again. This race is going to be electric. Lando Norris won by 25 seconds and there was essentially no overtakes. So for me, Singapore is back of C. I think Singapore has been overrated. Yes, that one race between Sainz, Norris, Russell, Hamilton being the 4 within a second of each other during the last 10 laps was absolutely incredible. But do you remember any other things that happened at Singapore? Last year was boring. The year before that was boring. I just think because of that one race, Singapore has been regarded as this magnificent track, but I don't think it is quite that. I'm not saying it's bad. It's definitely not D tier, E tier, but it's very close to being the tier below. But I think just because of that one race, I'll put it higher. Next up, we're heading to COTA, and this may be controversial. I don't know. I know people like COTA. It's one of my favourite F1 tracks. USA, you nailed it with this one. I mean, I think this provides some of the best action out of any F1 race, period. And the best thing is we also get a sprint race, so we get double the action. Well, one race and a half of action worth at the COTA Grand Prix. I mean, that first corner is blooming brilliant idea. Make it wide as hell as possible so you have 50 cars going around the corner at once. And the rest of the track is just as fun. I think the cars can just about overtake, but it's challenging for the drivers to overtake, but not so easy to overtake where it's just DRS overtakes only. You can overtake at your own merit, but I think COTA's blooming brilliant. And then going right down the pecking order, we're heading to Mexico. And yeah, this is going in D tier. It has incredible fans. It has an incredible atmosphere, incredible build. It has its own F1 song, for goodness sake. But the track's awful for racing. Okay, maybe I'm being a bit harsh. Maybe it should be a bit higher. But there's so much dirty air on this track and not really any great overtaking spots. There's a few, but most of the time it ends up being one driver gets pushed off to the side or something. I just, for some reason, don't get along with Mexico. I think maybe I'm being a bit harsh. Maybe it should be above China. I might do that. I think the action is slightly better, if it lets me. It's slightly better, but I just don't enjoy Mexico. I do think the action's boring. There's so much dirty air that the tyres just get shredded if you try and overtake. And really, there's only one section, being the main straight, that people really overtake on, and that's just due to DRS. And to me, that's not exciting enough. So it's going in the D tier. Next up, we have Brazil. And do I really need to explain myself? It is up and away the best F1 track. Brilliant overtaking, unpredictable weather, brilliant individual drives from drivers such as Hamilton, Verstappen, Leclerc, etc, etc. I honestly don't need this section to be long. Brazil, best track on the F1 calendar, period. That's it. That's all I need to say about Brazil. It is the best track. Moving on. And next up, we've got the Las Vegas Grand Prix, and to be fair to the USA, the pig track as everyone calls it. It literally looks like an upside down pig. It's actually a pretty good track. I'm putting it bottom of B, but mainly for the reason that, yes, I think it's better than a few of those tracks in B. We've only had 2 races there so far, so it's a bit hard for me to judge just based on 2 races. But basing off those 2 races, yeah, it's been pretty damn good. This track is actually built to help the cars overtake, to overtake. I mean, does anyone remember Leclerc's overtake on Perez that one year at the first Las Vegas Grand Prix? Pretty damn good. There's definitely been errors with the Las Vegas Grand Prix, but I actually really enjoy it. The main errors are with the fans, not with the fans themselves, but the fans' experience. Oh my God, it's woeful there, and the tickets are way damn too expensive. But I think the racing has been enjoyable so far, so it's going to have to go B. We've got the final two races, and I'm going to go basically next to each other. Qatar, Abu Dhabi. Yes, everyone's going to say with Abu Dhabi, but Grid Talk Global. Do you remember the Hamilton versus Max Verstappen last lap? It was one lap. The rest of the race was just Hamilton dominating. Like, come on, people. The Abu Dhabi Grand Prix used to be the glitz and glimmer, the big finale, the big celebration, the big epic, glamorous track. We got Las Vegas for that now. So there's nothing interesting about Abu Dhabi. It's one of the worst tracks for overtaking. It's not enjoyable to watch. Yes, I know it's the finale, but I so wish there was another track for the finale with better racing. And then Qatar, I mean, Qatar's whatever. It's not a very interesting track. I don't really find it fun. But yeah, those two kind of go side and side each other, kind of similar reasons. Just not very fun to watch for me personally. They're okay, they have their occasional good moments, but just not good F1 tracks for me. So there we go. That is my final tier list. Yes, a few in the same category can move left to right, but overall, that is how I envision my F1 tier list. There'll be a big placement here for you now, so you can see what my rankings are. But make sure to leave a comment down below of your favourite F1 tracks and your least favourite F1 tracks. How would you rank all the F1 tracks as well? But I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe for more future F1 content just like this. But I'll be seeing you in the next one. Ciao, ciao.